The next Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer may be coming sooner than you think. We've got leaks, rumors, and much more. Let's take a look. Alright, so we're just diving right into the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet information, and then we're going to talk about Pokemon Unite, because some pretty big stuff just got announced for that game. So first things first, a couple days ago, Kaka made their return, one of the leakers that has given us so much information about the game, and they've indicated a few different things. One, that Eternal Floette is not going to be in the game, but apparently Floette is going to be in the game, which isn't anything new, but there is no new Floette color, so nothing too crazy there, but they did indicate that you can get a Berserker. However, there's some thoughts that maybe it was a translation error and it's supposed to be Galarian Meowth. But nonetheless, Berserker's apparently in the game by trading a Pawmi for it, which again seems like it would be kind of uneven. You would think the Meowth would make more sense, to your language teacher. So kind of early in the game, you can make that trade, and it indicates that Berserker's not in the regional decks. It's a one-time trade. So this is a Pokemon that exists outside of the new Paldean decks, but you can actually obtain. It also says that you can get a normal Wooper without Pokemon Home. So it seems like there's going to be some diversity of forms in this game. You're going to be able to get those different things. Berserker could be in the decks apparently, but nonetheless, the thought here is that you're able to trade a Pawmi early in the game for a Galarian Meowth or a Berserker, and you can somehow get a normal Wooper. Now, kind of getting into the really good stuff here, there's been a post on 4chan, and it's been a long time since we covered one of these posts, but it feels very, very feasible, and the good news is we'll know by tomorrow whether or not this is real, as it's indicating that there's going to be a new trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on September 27th. Now again, these posts, we usually take them with a grain of salt. I will say, however, that there is a lot of legitimate information in here from the leaks that we have, and I think it could be real. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but you'll see what I mean as I go through it. It indicates that the trailer is dropping tomorrow on the 27th. It's 2 minutes and 37 seconds long. It shows the player running near a Pokemon Center outside of an icy route. It shows some generic battles, the starters attacking wild Pokemon like Shroomish, Sea Titan, Crabrawler. Shows the NPC sending out a Corvisquire, more running around, more areas, more random battle stuff like Salandit using a fire type move. The music changes to a more upbeat and happy theme. There's a blue and white pattern blanket on the floor on the grass. The Pokemon, or the player's Pokemon, get sent out and they stand around or on top of the blanket. It shows some mini games where you wash dirt off your Pokemon or remove status effects like burn or paralysis. And what all this is pointing towards is this idea of Pokemon Picnic, which is apparently the new mini game in the game, much like Pokemon Ami, Pokemon Refresh, making curry, that kind of stuff. It says have a picnic with your Pokemon. And we know that this is leaked. We know that there's a mechanic of Picnic where you can wash your Pokemon, give them baths, things like that. And apparently it's tied to the new egg mechanic, as traditional breeding is apparently not in Scarlet and Violet. It says that Cyclizar gets healed from its paralysis, Sea Titan gets healed from its burn, and then Sea Titan has something to give you. You obtained an egg. The egg was placed in an incubator. So apparently, according to this, we're gonna have incubators as opposed to kind of hatching eggs in a traditional sense, and we're gonna be getting eggs from Pokemon through Pokemon Picnic, which the second part is leaked, right? Getting eggs through Pokemon Picnic has been leaked as opposed to the traditional breeding mechanics. It then goes on to say that the player spoke to Sea Titan after healing it, and it got an egg. It shows a scene of the egg hatching, and a pre-evolution to Sea Titan was shown. Another thing that has been confirmed through leaks is that Sea Titan does have a pre-evolution, and Sea Titan is probably my second favorite new Pokemon next to Ceruledge, which is just so cool. But apparently this trailer is going to showcase the pre-evolution of Sea Titan through this new Picnic mechanic. So again, all of this to this point seems very feasible. It ties very much so into the leaks that we've seen so far regarding Pokemon Picnic. Talks very much so regarding about the potential of a new breeding mechanic or a new egg mechanic. All of this aligns very nicely. Then apparently the music changes to something more intense and shows the Ironclad Titan Mechmaton. Mechmaton is the iron worm, and you'll see it wriggle around the ground and call upon smaller ones. Now, we just got our first Titan reveal a few weeks back in Cloth, the Stony-clad Titan, I think it is. Now this is apparently the Ironclad Titan. Now again, from leaks, we know that there's an Earthworm Pokemon that's a Steel type that is going to be one of the Titans in the game, and it was alluded to in one of the previous trailers. This could be the reveal of that as well. So, very, very interesting. Mechmaton apparently being the name of it. Then it says Primeape's evolution is shown. We know that Primeape gets a new evolution in this game through leaks that is apparently Ghost and Fighting type. No name is given. It's just a brief how Ceruledge was shown in the last trailer. So again, Primeape, potentially new evolution. I could see them showing that. Again, this isn't too much information. In 2 minutes, 37 seconds, this actually feels pretty legitimate. And then we've got music changes once more. Shows a bunch of fog with yellow sparkles flying across the place. The first cry is slower and more intense version of Donphan's cry. The second cry a little sounded like Donphan, but had a much different vibe to it, and the trailer ends. Again, another thing that was leaked is we believe there's going to be these paradox forms of Donphan getting 2 different paradox forms, one for Scarlet and one for Violet. This plays right into that. So overall, listen, we've got this post. This very much so could have been someone just writing out a really cool fan idea based on the leaks we've gotten so far, but it also feels very much like what I could see them doing for a trailer. It is inevitable in my mind that if there is a Pokemon Picnic, which has been leaked in this game, the new curry mechanic, the new Ami, the new refresh, they're going to reveal it before launch. And I would say that right now is about the timing you would have that. This is not something you keep secret going into the game. This is something that you sell as an additional feature. And the things that they potentially could reveal in this make sense. I could see them revealing 3 of the 5 Titans before the game launches. We've only seen 1 in cloth. I could see them revealing 1 or 2 more before the game comes out. And I can see them dropping something like a Primeape's evolution, like that big fan service to Generation 1. Primeape, a relatively iconic Pokemon in Generation 1, just due to his relation to Ash in the anime. So, again, I'm not going to say this is 100% real. We're going to find out tomorrow, but I do think there's a possibility that this is legit. Just saying. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you think this is real, or do you think it's fake? You let me know. By the way, if you guys didn't hear, I just dropped some brand new t-shirts over at TeamShiny.com. You can pick them up by going to TeamShiny.com and just grab some sweet merch. We dropped Absol, Gardevoir, Flygon, and we've got a ton of other designs. So take a few minutes, scroll through our pages. We got a ton of awesome Shiny shirts, merch, hoodies, and much, much more. Getting ready for hoodie season. Check them out at TeamShiny.com. Now, shifting gears a little bit away from kind of Scarlet and Violet, we've got some information regarding Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2. Apparently, a LinkedIn programmer said that they were working on Detective Pikachu 2, which was nearing release. Chances are it's going to be spring next year, and they just don't want to announce it until Scarlet and Violet is behind us. We'll have to wait and see what that plays out to be. If you didn't hear, Ed Sheeran is releasing a new Pokemon collaborative song called Celestial. That's going to be coming out on September 29th in a few days. If you're an Ed Sheeran fan, well, if you're a Pokemon fan, one of the two, you're going to get that information. Now, Pokemon Unite, big stuff. I am very excited for this. Scyther and Scizor are coming to the game. It is one Pokemon. You have the option to evolve into Scizor mid-game if you choose Dual Wing Beat or Bullet Punch, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very cool. I'm particularly very excited. I will be streaming Scizor gameplay this week for Pokemon Unite. They have their own Unite moves, Green Illusion Dive, Red Illusion Dive. Very, very cool. They make little copies like Double Team. And then as of this morning, this is big, public test is now open for Pokemon Unite, and they've revealed the new Pokemon for October. And that is going to be Clefable, which we already knew about, Zoroark, and Sableye. Oh, this is such a good lineup for Halloween. I'm very excited about this. I previously didn't know if it was going to be Hisuian Sableye, but we have images from El Chico Eevee. Looks like we have support Clefable, support Sableye, and then Zoroark. So, very, very exciting. It's standard Zoroark. I wish it was Hisuian. I think that was a mistake. But nonetheless, some really exciting Pokemon coming to Pokemon Unite. I cannot wait to play Sableye personally. This is exciting stuff. I'm very pumped about it. I hope you guys are too. So that's pretty much that going on in the world of Pokemon. Let me know your thoughts on that potential leak post for a trailer tomorrow. And again, we'll find out pretty quickly whether or not it's real. So that'll be sweet. And don't forget to check out some Team Shiny merch at TeamShiny.com. Deck out your closet. You'll look fancy and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching this one, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.